You want to learn something about repeat orders? This is the video to watch. Good morning, spaceman. Welcome to Space Operations Delta. I'm Captain Collins, and today we're going to talk about repeat orders in X4. And we're going to take a look at how to use repeat orders for mining, trading, and fighting. So let's jump right into the game, and I will tell you in the exact order about the repeat orders. If you want to check one specific part, then take a look at the timestamps at the description down below. There's also all the info you need to know about how to support the channel and where to get all the other informations and other tutorials. Let's start with the basics and have a look at what repeat orders is. If we just take one mineral miner here and take a look at the behaviors, remove the assignment and take the default behaviors in here, then you can see there is one part that says repeat orders. What does that thing do? Before you do any repeat orders, you need to enable it and confirm it, and that way you can start doing repeat orders on every single ship you want to work with it. And we are starting with mining, and that's pretty good that that's already a miner. Repeat orders for mining is pretty simple. You have two things for repeat orders in mining, and that's mining and selling. So where and what do you want to mine, and where do you want to sell it, and for which price? We go step by step into this. So for example, this station needs ice, and we want to get that ice. We take our miner, which has got the repeat orders default behavior, and we go into a sector where there's ice, and we right click on it, select mine ice. Then you see that there is just a small radius where he mines. This radius is about 40 kilometers. So we got the first order you can see in here is mining. Second order is always selling for the miner, or you can also place another mining order. So for example, you can take three single spots to mine ice in. Let's say, for example, I want to mine ice in here too. Also want to mine ice in here too. That means when he can't find any ice anymore in one spot, he will fly to the next one and search there for ice. When he's done with the mining and his cargo bay is full, we can assign selling tasks. Since this is our headquarters and we want to get the ice in here, but we don't get money for it, we could also do another thing. For example, just take a ice refinery in here and say sell to ice refinery. In here you get another menu where you can select the where you want to sell. In this case, it's ice. The ice refinery would also take energy cells and medical supplies. That's later for trading. You can say there should be a quantity that he needs to keep. That means you could sell, for example, half your cargo onto one station and get money for it, and then bring half the cargo somewhere else and sell it there, or maybe give it to your player HQ. That way you will make money and you will supply your player HQ at the same time with just one single order and one single ship. So for example, I want to have ice here. I want no quantity to keep, but I only want to sell it when it's at 34 credits. So if it's really expensive to sell, then I want to have it sell on this station. Let's confirm that. And now you see it's the fourth place in our orders. And the next thing that I maybe want to do is how about selling in a sector? So can I sell it in this sector? If you right click on a sector, Grand Exchange 1 for example, and select the wares you can sell, you can get through all the wares that are sellable in this sector. Let me do this in here. There you can see a lot more. These are all the wares that are sold in this sector. And you can also take ice in here and say 34. Confirm that. So, but what if nobody buys it for 34? Well, then I will just sell it to this station. Minimum price here is the lowest, and confirm. Why did I do that? Well, there are a few things. Right now, how does repeat orders work? Repeat orders works always. It checks the next step. If the next step is doable, then it will do the step. If not, it will go to the next step, and so on and so on. In this case, we're mining first. If the miner is full, he will ignore 2 and 3. If the miner does not get everything at mining 1, he will go to mining 2 and mine there. If he's then full, he will just ignore step 3. Then he goes to step 4. He checks if the Teladi Ice Refinery 1 that I selected here has got an offering for 34 credits per ice. If that's not the case, he will go on to 5. If that's the case, he will stop there at 4 and he will sell it to that station. Let's say he has not sold the ice at the station. He will then go to the step 5. He will check if there is some station in Grand Exchange 1 that will buy the ice for 34 credits per ice. If that's the case, he will fly there and ignore step 6 and go back to step 1 mining. If he doesn't sell it there, he will check the last part of this order queue, and this is bring it to the Space Navy headquarters right there. And because I set the minimum price to 26, that's the lowest price you can set, he will always be able to drop off the ice at this station. That's why he will then fly to the station and drop it off. If you, for example, have no station where you can just drop it off, he will constantly check selling. So he will constantly check 4, 5. Then he will just ignore 1, 2, 3, go back to 4 and 5. Ignore 1, 2, 3, and so on until there is the price that you desired to sell it for. Then there is one of these orders that is checked, and he will fly there and sell the ore, sell the ice, whatever you got. And also, like I said, you can set, for example, sell all but. Let's say, for example, sell all but 500. Also here, sell all but 500. And in this case, you make sure that every single time he sells some stuff, he will always bring the last 500 ice to your headquarters or to your station or to whatever you want to bring it. What you can do, for example, is always set these orders in a different row. For example, you don't want to check the ice refinery first. You want to check maybe Grand Exchange first, then just click on move up. 4 and 5 just switch places. So Grand Exchange is now the first one and the ice refinery is now the last one. That you can do with all the orders in here. You can also check before mining another spot, for example, if it's there to sell already. You don't need to confirm anything. The miner will just fly away and do whatever you want. One thing to keep in mind for mining, if you want to drop it off at your own stations, always set the minimum price to the lowest you can. That way you ensure that he will always drop off the ware at your own station. And that was mining. For the next one, selling, trading, we go in to a trader and have a look at one of these traders. I already got a buy and sell order installed here. You know how to do this, right? You just right click on something and then you buy from, in this case. Not sell to, but you buy from. You get the same menu. You can get all the stuff in here. Then you set a buy up to how many pieces you want to grab. And you can also set a max price on what you want to grab. So as you see with the turned components, I have a max price of 260 right there. And then I have a sell order at the Argon Wharf or the Argon Shipyard at 262. Why do I have the same price? Well, because I buy the stuff at my own station. That way I don't have to pay for it. And I can just set the maximum price to whatever I like. I should set the maximum price to maximum. That way he will always buy the stuff from my own station. And then he will drop it off to sell at another wharf. And you can see right now that he's checking 1 and 2, 1 and 2 all the time, because the Argon Wharf or the Argon Shipyard has not the price that we need to execute the trade. Well, how do I change that? If I really want to have that guy flying there, is I just change the minimum price down to, let's say, 230. And now you see that the order got through. Now he got the check that one of these stations is buying the stuff for a minimum price of 229 in this case. What did I do here? I do have 2 locations for the selling order. Well, I can always add other locations onto one single task. Just like we did with the miner before, we had 3 different places that he checked, and there is an order, like check the first one first, the second one second, And if one is better, if one checks, the others will be ignored. In this case, if you set more than just one location, and you can do this by just add location and also just select a whole sector, like click on a sector, just click OK. And the complete sector, Argon Prime, will be inserted into this list. And if you have more than just a single location in one of these sell orders or in one of these buy orders, he will check if any of these locations has got the desired price. And if one of these locations has got the desired price, he will execute that order. So you could do, for example, buy something in one system, then do the sell order in every single system that's just one jump away around it. Check these first. If there is a buy order that will get your sell order matched, then you will sell there first. If there is not a matching order, do a second buy order in this queue. So this would be number 3. And in this sell order, take every second jump from this station around it so that you have to do 2 jumps. In this case, you make sure that your ship is not flying too far and you will always get the desired price. So, and the ship will always check if there is something around it not too far away. And in the next step, it will check, well, one more jump after that. In this particular use case, you can set the sectors that you want to supply very specifically. You can also set the stations that you want to supply very specifically. And for example, in this case, if you're trading, you can set your own station, trade with your own station. Set the buying price of your own station at the maximum price you can get, because you don't lose any money if you buy it from there, right? And set the selling price at your own station to the minimum price you can get. And that way you ensure that the buying and selling, so the distributing, or you're just doing like a cargo run in between your own stations, will always execute in this case. This is the case if you want to supply, for example, a Jupiter base with some energy cells from Mercury, and you want to have that trader always fly to Jupiter base and bring the energy cells to the station in Jupiter. And the Jupiter station is then redeploying these wares around it, with the manager being a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4-star manager. And while we were speaking, you see that this ship has done the trade and it's now flying back to the station and is executing the trade to buy new turrets. So he will not check yet if there is a sell order for anything. He will always first go and buy, always do the next following step in the order queue. If that's possible, the ship will do it. There is one thing for trading that you need to keep in mind, and this is the buy up to. If I want to send this ship somewhere else and buy something else up, let's say, for example, at this station, if I want to buy something, then you will see there is a used cargo capacity. And this used cargo capacity says that in your order queue, you already used up every storage already that your ship has. It is not possible yet. I don't know if they changed it, but that's not possible to set a order queue, buy something at A, fly it to B, or buy something at sector A, fly to sector B, drop it off there, buy something in sector B, bring it to sector A, drop it off there, and always with maximum cargo. That's not possible. You can't do loops. You could do buy 50% cargo capacity at A, bring it to B, buy 50% cargo capacity at B, bring it to A. That's possible. That's how it works. You can't do 100%. So that's very important for trading. There is one more repeat order I want to talk about, and this is a special one. It's patrolling in a case. It doesn't say patrolling, but you can let it do patrolling like you want to do it. And I got something set up already with my Cerberus here. I do have Cerberus there that has got the repeat order, attack targets in range. If you put a lot of repeat order, if you set the repeat order at targets at range, you can always do that. Attack targets in range. This is a 40-kilometer radius where the ship checks if there is an enemy in range and that he can engage with. That way you can, for example, let that ship fly around one station, another station, maybe a jump gate, and let it fly around the sector, and always check at these spots if there is an enemy around, and then attack that enemy. That works really good. The ship will always fly into that spot that you set in here, so always at this spot in the middle of the radius. You'll fly there. While he's flying there, while he enters that radius, he already checks if there's an enemy, and if he hits the middle, that order is executed and he will jump to the next order. So when he hits the middle, he will set that order as checked and go on to the next order and fly in here maybe. Also, when he enters the radius, he will start looking for enemies, fly into the middle. If he's in the middle, he will go to the next. And you can see here that I have not given any other orders for this Cerberus than just attack targets in range. And that's exactly what he's doing now. He saw that there are Xenon around, and he will now engage the Xenon in a fight. I do have a lot of Cerberus flying with it, and that's because I have set some other Cerberus as a fleet. And that is one specific thing that you need to keep in mind. Repeat orders do not work with mimic commander's behavior. So if I want to have another Cerberus that is, let's take this Cerberus, and I want to mimic the orders of another ship, I take this Cerberus and I right click the one with the repeat order command and want to mimic commander's behavior. That does not work. That does not work with any repeat order. Ships will not trade anywhere like the one with the repeat orders. They will only fly with the ship back and forth to stations, but you will see that there are no trading going on, It doesn't work with mining. Miners that you set at mimic commander's behavior to a miner that has got repeat orders, they will just stay idle. If you set mimic commander's behavior on a patrolling ship, that ship will also just stay idle. There is one single workaround for mimicking commander's behavior while one ship is having a repeat order, and that is building a fleet. So the only thing that I can do is I could do the same thing, repeat orders for every single attack ship that I want to do. But what is way better, I just take one of these ships and I right click on the one single repeat order ship and I say attack with commander, put him into a attack order, and every time the commander with the repeat order command is engaging an enemy, everyone that is in the fleet will attack with the commander. So that way you just need to change one single ship patrolling somewhere else and every other ship will follow. And that's one thing to keep in mind. If you're attacking with a repeat order command, the one ship with the repeat orders always knows first where to fly to. The others with attack with commander order don't know where to fly to. They will always follow the ship. They will always stay behind. That way you need to have the strongest or the bulkiest ship with the repeat order command, because he will always engage into the fight first. So you can see now here that attack or the attack command does work really good. I do have the other Cerberus attacking with commander, and the Cerberus line 101 is just flying now somewhere else. He's checking now this sector. I just want to make sure that you have seen it only once. He's now doing the task number 2, and the task number 2 is a fly to the jump gate and check there for some threats. You can also change the radius if you want to, and this is the way how you can set patrol routes for your own police forces, for example. and just fly around jump gates and check if there is something going on. They won't attack ships that are not in this attack targets in range radius. So keep that in mind. If you are placing a radius where there are maybe enemies in between, they will not attack these enemies. They will always check the radius you set. Actually, are doing even a formation. I didn't know that. When I first checked that, they didn't do a formation, but there you go. Now you even have a formation with your fleet. That's pretty cool. So set a formation for your fleet to engage these enemies and you are good to go. I got one bonus tip for you. There is not only mining, trading, and patrolling, there is also an assistant to patrolling. If you have a trader that doesn't do anything and you want to have the trader checking onto all the stuff that's maybe flying around in the sector after your really well-shaped attack order here, you maybe want to have one single ship that is collecting all the drops that your police force is destroying. And while we have the trader checked, you can always just do go into here, set the behavior at repeat orders. Oh, we already got that. Delete then all the repeat orders and do, for example, collect drops here, collect drops there, and collect drops in here. So he will now check if everywhere where this attack order is being done, if they destroy some Xenon ships or some enemy ships or pirates or whatever, that single trader will now collect all the drops that are just sitting there in the sector and you will get them. And you don't even need to think about collecting them because he will always check, is there something to collect? Yes or no? Yes, he will collect it. No, he will fly to the next spot. Is there something to collect? Rinse and repeat. That's how it works. So there you go. That was a lot of information that I gave you. That's how repeat orders work. If you have more questions about it, put them into the comments. I always try to answer every single comment down there. That was Captain Collins, Space Operations Delta. We will see us again in space, maybe on Twitch, twitch.tv/Captain Collins. And check out all the ways you can support the channel. That will be really nice. Have a good one, and we'll see us again soon. Bye.